Good morning. We're back with another video today. We're on the job site here with Brandon just for a little while. We're going to help him carry some of this material in. He's essentially trimming out a full wall. Not really, kind of trimming out. We're putting 3/4 inch panels on the wall and trimming those out, and there's a bunch of stuff here. So we're going to help him carry this stuff in, and then we're going to go back to the shop and help Jacob finish up these last 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that, drawer boxes for the red oak order. And then we're going to start putting face frames, the painted ones that we made, onto cabinets. So it's going to be a busy day. Let's get into it. Just got back to the shop here from helping Brandon. Jacob's been putting together these drawer boxes. Look at that nice dovetail. We're just going to putty those little hairline gaps. Those will look amazing. He's also measuring. So these are the drawer box measurements here. Rough openings for the face frames and the actual measurements. So he's doing that, labeling all the drawer boxes, puttying them. He cut all of the notches with the table saw here with the dado blade in the back for the slide. So he's been doing that while I was helping Brandon carry stuff in. So now what I'm going to start doing is these cabinets right here need these face frames right here. The laundry room is that grayish color. The kitchen's a black, tricorn black. So we need to put all the skin side panels on, all the face frames on, and go from there. So what my plan here is I'm going to dado every single face frame, and then I'll start screwing them onto the cabinets. I have that set in and dialed in to a point where I can do that now. In the beginning, I would go one by one. I'd dado a face frame, I'd put it on the cabinet. But now, I have the measurements down. So I'm just going to simply dado everything. And it's either a 1/4 inch offset or a 1/2 inch offset, depending if there's a skin side panel or not. And then we'll glue, we'll screw, we'll double check, we'll sand, and then we'll put the side panels on, and then we'll go cut shelves, make sure the shelves fit, and these cabinets will pretty much be ready for install. Not sure if you can see these lines or not, but this line right here, when I put my fence up to that line, it'll mean I have a 1/4 inch in between the blade and the fence, and that is for the side of the cabinet with no skin side panel. Or right here, if I put it up to this line, it'll be a 1/2 inch in between the blade and the fence, which will mean there is a skin side panel which eats up that extra 1/4 inch, which makes everything have a 1/4 inch overhang, which is how we want it to look. What I am doing here is I'm dadoing out the back of the face frame. Some of the face frames, depending if they have skin side panels or not, the dado is a 1/2 inch in, or the dado is a 1/4 inch in. And I'm going over it 2 times just to make sure that the dado is cut correctly and cut evenly, so that way it sits on the cabinet shell correctly. So I now have the first face frame on this first cabinet here. We have our pocket holes, everything's fastened, everything's glued. The dados are all tight, so that's super good. We need to double check the measurements on this, make the shelves, double check those, skin the bottom, skin the side. There's quite a bit of more work to do for this cabinet, but face frame's on. Now we just rinse and repeat and do the same thing to the rest of them. Jacob started putting together our dovetail drawer boxes, 5/8 inch maple, clear coated 3 times. But what he is doing right now is he's putting the pin and the tails, the fronts, backs, and sides all together, along with the bottom panel. And all that he is doing is he's taking the back piece and then the left or the right. He is gluing the dovetail joints, and he is lightly, and I mean very lightly, hammering in the dovetail joints so that way then they seed in perfectly. And he is making sure that the glue does not squeeze out on the inside, because it's super tough to get that glue out. And he's just paying attention, making sure everything is lined up correctly. All of the joints look perfect. The sizing is correct. I believe he caught one of the drawer boxes miscut, so he had to recut one of them. But that attention to detail is super key when making these drawer boxes, because we want to catch any issue now instead of later. Jacob now has all of the drawer boxes together, glued. The back hole is drilled for the slide. The notch is cut for the slide. Everything is together. They just need slightly putted, sanded, and then we'll clear coat those 3 times. But in the meantime, I think he's gonna go start cutting bottom skins for these cabinets, shelves for these cabinets, and I'm gonna keep screwing in and gluing all of these face frames onto these cabinet shelves. what we're doing now is we're making shelves for the cabinets that we've been working on, the painted cabinets. So what we did is the cabinet material, we use that for the shelves, but it comes as 7/16 thick. We need to make it 3/8 of an inch thick for edge banding and edge bander to work. So that being said, we took the material, we used a vertical belt sander to get the material from 7/16 to 3/8 of an inch, and we only did that on one side. So that way, the other side is still UV'd and still looks great. The next step is we'll glue these pieces together, and then we will be able to take it through the edge bander. The edge banding will go on the front side, and these shelves will turn out super awesome. Let's get into gluing these, brad nailing these, putty the brad nail, and then we can start edge banding. I meant to say this before, but we like making our shelves 3/4 of an inch thick, so that way they can't bow or warp. The 1/2 inch or 7/16 inch material, if over a long span, sometimes can bow and warp, and we just don't like that. So we like to double them up, make them super thick, super sturdy for the client, so that way they'll last a super long time. And so now we have our each side of this shelf glued, nailed together. It looks super awesome, and it measures out to be a little bit over 3/4, which is perfect for our edge banding. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to putty those with some color match putty, edge band them, and then just keep going through this whole stack. As you can see, Jacob and I are both working on creating these shelves for this client, and I am gluing both sides of the shelf to make sure there is maximum bonding to each piece, and then we are using 5/8 inch brad nails along the edge and in the center to make sure that this shelf is clamped super well and super strong. We do not want the shelves or each piece to come apart from the other piece, so we're using a lot of glue and we're using a lot of brad nails to make sure they can never come apart. And then Jacob is over there puttying with custom color match putty just to make sure the client cannot see any of the brad nails. Once I am done and once Jacob is done, we will take these shelves to the edge bander and let the brand new edge bander do its thing and make these shelves look super finished and super awesome. We now have all of our shelves put together. So now, this edge bander has been heating up. It's time to get all of these shelves edge banded, and then once we have the cabinets finished, we'll go over there and we'll just double check by actually placing the shelves in there to make sure the measurements are correct. Our CNC is now cutting out the next order of cabinet shelves. It's for this order, well, the order somewhere. I think Carl has it in his office, but it's like 18 or 19 cabinets. So once we get done with this order, we're gonna start going and getting this order put together. This is for the red oak face frames, the drawer boxes Jacob just did. So this is a probably more typical normal order. So we'll finish getting this cut out and then we'll go from there. Jacob's screwing in the last face frame, this super tall pantry. It has a wall oven, 2 doors, drawer front door, or drawer front with a drawer, and then 2 doors down here. It's like 83 inches tall. So the next step is we need to double check all the measurements for all of the cabinets. And then we have the side panels right here, but we can't put those on yet because this cabinet would be done, drawer stack, but this cabinet is flipped up on the top right now so we don't scratch the bottom. But there needs to be it's not an adjustable shelf, it's gonna be a fixed shelf right here, because they're gonna be they don't want the doors to cover right here or right here. They're gonna be putting baskets or something in there, so we need to put the shelf in there. There's a bunch of shelves on that super tall pantry over there that need to go in, and then once all of the measuring is double checked, all the shelves are in, we can double check the adjustable shelves and then skin the bottom of the cabinets to hide the Craig screws, and then we can put the finished sprayed skins on the sides and then install the drawer boxes that are sitting right there, build the doors, install the doors, and then go install these cabinets. So there's quite a bit left, but we're making progress. The last step for all of these drawer boxes is I need to sand them all down, and then we'll start clear coating those drawer boxes over there. So let's get to sanding these. We'll clear coat them 3 times. These drawer boxes will be completed. Jacob and I are now both sanding these drawer boxes, and we are using 150 grit sandpaper to sand down these drawer boxes. We don't have to do that much sanding. We just want to make sure the dovetail joints are perfect. Any machining marks we want to get rid of. Any burnt marks we want to get rid of. We just want to make sure these boxes look super perfect before we clear coat them, because once we clear coat them, it kind of seals everything in, which is awesome for durability, but it's not awesome if you're trying to get a burnt mark or a saw mark or something out that shouldn't be there. Jacob and I are still sanding. He's using that DeWalt. I'm using the Milwaukee battery power. Look at it with a 9 amp hour forge. I love this palm sander, but it's too aggressive. It is like, it's honestly, it's kind of terrible. I love it though. That's a corded palm sander. Does not have as much power as even this battery powered, but it's so much easier to control. It takes a little bit longer to get the stuff sanded down, but I kind of like that. A lot of the guys like that too. You like the DeWalt better?
Way easier to control.
Yeah, this thing is like a wild ride, but look at that thing. I mean, 8 amp hour, red lithium forge. It sounds mean. Look at that thing. But I think if we had to choose, I love Milwaukee over DeWalt every time, but we just like that setup better. So we're gonna keep sanding these and go from there. All of the drawer boxes are now sanded and they're ready for clear coat. Jacob has been over there at the saw stop cutting down some pieces for those cabinets. Carl got all of the shelves edge banded. They're all completed with our edge banding machine. The CNC is now finished cutting out cabinets. That's the only amount of waste for it, so that's incredible. Next thing we need to do is organize these cabinets and then finish the cabinets that are over there by putting in some pieces. So let's get into it. And now I have these drawer boxes clear coated with 1 coat of clear coat. Jacob's gonna start organizing those cabinets. When these are dry, spray them again, and we'll start doing other things in the shop here. Jacob got all the cabinets over there all organized, so now we're gonna start putting some fixed bottoms or shelves right here, and then in the pantry to separate the wall oven and the drawer boxes in the upper. So we can also start putting in the bottom skins, and once that's done, we can start putting in the side skins. So there's quite a bit of work to do here. Let's start doing it. All right, so we got all of our fixed floors in place. These cabinets are now, the doors need to be double checked and measured. And these cabinets are ready to go. The black is for the kitchen. This gray color here is for the laundry room. We have to pick up the trim tomorrow. Just double check the doors, and then these will be ready to go. We got the cabinets all finished up. We have to install the drawer boxes, install the doors, pick up the trim. But we'll do that tomorrow or next week. And we finished up these drawer boxes, 3 coats of clear coat on them. So they all look really, really good. So that kind of completes the day. I have a few other things to do, but nothing crazy. Tomorrow, we have to finish cutting out the 18 or so cabinets for the red oak order, start putting those cabinet shelves together, get the face frames back, start putting the face frames on those, the skins on those, a bunch of stuff. So stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow. Adios.